us on the first half, and you guys had the lead going into the third quarter, but just sort of fell away in the second half. How do you describe the performance?
In the first half, obviously, the offensive rebounds. We didn't want to play at South East pace. They're really good at that pace that they play with, and we wanted to be a little bit more methodical in what we wanted to get into. And then obviously the 22 turnovers. And again, you look at a snapshot where at the conclusion of the second quarter, we're up 5 with about 3 minutes, 30-something to go. And we turn it over, and down the other end there's a stop with an offensive rebound. Then we turn it over again, and we do an unsportsmanlike foul. We turn it over again. We foul and technical. Wardenberg hits a mid-range. I think we we foul them. They go to the foul line, and then we turn it over again. And virtually if you go back and track it from about that 3:36 mark to about 2:30, there's 11 possessions in that minute and some change of basketball, and that's way too fast for us. And we go from being up 5 to a tied ball game. Thought Ian Clark, there was a stretch at the end of the third quarter. Ian Clark came out and provided a real spark. The third quarter for the first 7 minutes was, pretty good. We weren't scoring at a great rate, but we were able to get to the foul line. We got them to the bonus early. And then in the final 3 minutes of the third, they score 13 points, and that's how they're able to do is pour it on. So Ian Clark provided that spark, and Nathan Sobey was just, by the end, unguardable. We just kept rotating different matchups and lineups with him. We just didn't have anybody that could directly match up, especially with Drew, picking up foul trouble early. So it left us searching for answers on how to defend Sobey.
When you're ready, Chris.
Yeah, Forde. Like you touched on, I feel like offensively, you played pretty well. Aside from the turnovers, the offense actually worked pretty well when you were able to keep hold of the ball. But like you also said, playing at that pace is probably better suited to them, wasn't it? That's why they were able to sort of put up the 111 points, just because they create so many more possessions in the game.
Yeah, they had 25 more shots than us. So off the back of offensive rebounding and our turnovers, and some were just like panicked turnovers or rushed. There's a good sample, obviously, with South East being really good with their pressure. And we wanted to use that. We were able to get to the foul line when we were a little bit more calculated in what we wanted to do in the half court. We were able to get, Jack and Drew to the foul line. But when we sort of rushed it and panicked with some of our decisions, they were costly. And to South East credit, they made us pay.
It's a tough team to play against, I guess, when Drew is your primary ball handler. Did you try to give Kyle a little bit of extra time tonight just to try to give you that second ball handler against their pressure?
Yeah, Lockie's not with us for the next 2 games. Obviously, he's back home. He's getting married, so that's pretty important. We didn't want to keep him away from that. So, there was a stretch where we wanted Kyle, obviously, to help with the ball handling and stat, and Wardenberg being a stretch big that he is. But they're so long and athletic, South East, that sort of X factor we have with Wardenberg being a secondary ball handler, they can take that away. And so, that's where we obviously wanted to go a little bit more with Kyle and Stat to help give some relief minutes to Drew.
That combination of Jack and Sam, they're starting to show signs of what you hope to have from the start of the season. You have a look at what they did at the offensive end. They both played big minutes, but they combined for 48 points. They shoot the ball really well. They got to the foul line 19 times between them. You must have liked a lot of what they were able to do as a tandem.
Yeah, we want to get more out of it for sure, but credit to Jack and Sam. They've been super productive, especially with Wardenberg being back, and Jack all season. So I've been real happy with their output.
Obviously, Sko didn't get on the court tonight. Is he still battling physically a little bit, or with Sam and Jack out there and then KG playing, is there just not a role for him tonight?
He's still struggling to move, and again, it's not a great matchup with him for South East. So the fact that again Jack and Wardenberg were playing the way they were, we just didn't want to risk it with the matchup and just how he's been moving this week.
You go down to Wollongong You've got a good history against the Hawks. Does that help with the confidence when you go into a game like this, or is it all sort of start from scratch again every time you play them?
Yeah, no, you don't look too much into that. Obviously, you know, they're really tough on their home court. And so, you know, last time we went down there, I think about a month ago to the date, you know, we did a great job controlling the pace. So that's something we want to obviously highlight and look to do again. But, yeah, January is pretty much a road trip in general for us. So, you know, that's the start of heading down to Illawarra, then on to Bendigo, and then we're back for a bit. And then we go Hoops Fest, Perth, and South East again, so obviously you don't want to look too far ahead, but you know, Illawarra is always tough, especially in the home floor, and they got some guys playing some real good basketball at the moment. So yeah, we have to be obviously lick our wounds and do some review and prepare for that in the next couple of days.
What is that challenge like? So you've had a little bit of time to prepare and freshen up ahead of this game, knowing that once you start playing again, the schedule really picks up and the bodies are going to start to get back up. It's only natural. So how do you sort of get ready for what's to come while still trying to prepare for a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, how you prepare in the preparation, the lead up, you know, what we get these guys doing the next 24 hours is important, and then obviously the planning of the trip and what we do at the other end after the flight. So, you know, we've got a lot of guys that are playing a lot of minutes, like everybody in the league. We've got guys that are carrying some little nagging injuries, and so it's important that we want to, you know, make sure we address those and try and get them in the best shape possible for the game.
Thank you very much, Forde. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Done. Thank you.